In the weapon attack phase, units can fire up to as many weapons as they have, but each weapon can only fire once. Weapons come in cluster and non-cluster. The catapult will demonstrate how cluster weapons work. The thunderbolt will demonstrate how non-cluster weapons work. Let's get into it. Let us say that the catapult won initiative. Accordingly, the thunderbolt must declare fire first. The thunderbolt declares that it will not torso twist and will fire one large laser at the catapult. The catapult, in turn, declares that it will not torso twist and will fire one LRM-15 at the thunderbolt. LRM simply stands for Long Range Missile. Now all we need to do is add up the modifiers and roll dice, which necessitates the use of math. We use the mnemonic device of Gator to keep track of all these modifiers. That's G-A-T-O-R. Gator. All these modifiers come from this attack modifiers table right here. The G stands for gunnery skill, which we can find there. We see the Thunderbolt's gunnery skill equates to 4. Next up, the A is attack modifier. The Thunderbolt has a white die, indicating that it walked, so its attack modifier equates to 1. T stands for target modifier. The Thunderbolt's target has a 1 standing up on its die. 1. O stands for other. A lot of things fit into other, but it's mostly intervening terrain. This catapult stands in a light woods, giving it a +1. R stands for range. To find the range, we count the hexes in between the two units, including the target's hex. So we start with the hex adjacent and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The two units are 7 hexes away. Now we look to the range for the large laser, and we see that 7 is within medium range for the large laser. Medium range adds a +2. So let's add all these bad boys up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The Thunderbolt requires a 9 or higher on 2d6 to successfully hit the catapult. Wow, what a great roll. Dang, we are really got exactly what we needed, a 9. That's just wonderful. All right, but where did the large laser hit? To determine that, we go to the hit location table. We see that the catapult stands within the Thunderbolt's front firing arc. So we go to the center table and we roll. 5. Right leg. The Thunderbolt hit the catapult in the right leg. So we take the catapult's record sheet out. And we look at the damage for the large laser. 8. So the Thunderbolt did 8 damage to the catapult's, I forgot already, right leg. We fill off 8 damage bubbles. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Like so. Alright, now we're almost done with the Thunderbolt. We can't forget to track heat. Now the Thunderbolt walked. So I put a little tick on the 1 in the heat scale. The large laser generates 8 points of heat. 8 plus 1 is 9. So the Thunderbolt now has 9 heat on the heat scale, which the heat sinks will kick in and take care of in the heat phase, but not now. Alright. Now we have seen how non-cluster weapons work. Let's turn to how cluster weapons work with the catapult. Alright. The catapult has a gunnery skill of 4. Its attack mod, we see it has a black die, meaning it ran, so that's a 2. Its target has a 1-up, so 1. Other, the Thunderbolt has partial cover from this level 1 hill, giving it a 1. Range, unless space changed somehow, it should still be 7. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, it's still 7. And we see that 7 is within short range for the LRM 15. Short range gives a plus 0. And we add all those up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. The catapult requires an 8 or higher to hit the Thunderbolt. Got it. Got a 9. All right. But how many of those 15 missiles hit the Thunderbolt? Well, let's find out by turning to the cluster hits table. The LRM-15 has a weapon size of 15, so we will be using the 15 column. And we roll. 4. 6. Okay, so 6 out of the 15 missiles hit. Just going to write that down so we remember. Now, each long-range missile does 1 point of damage, and long-range missiles deal damage in groups of 5 points each. So we will split this 6 up into a damage group of 5 and a damage group of 1. And we roll hit location for the 5 group, and we roll hit location for the 1. Turning back to the hit location table, getting out our Thunderbolt sheet again, and let's roll for the 5 damage group first. 9 on the front column. Left leg. So the 5 damage group hit the left leg. And ordinarily, that would mean that we would fill off 5 damage bubbles in the left leg of the Thunderbolt. However, that level 1 hill is protecting the Thunderbolt's legs. So those 5 missiles struck the partial cover and not the Thunderbolt. How fortunate. Now, let's roll for the last single LRM missile. 5. Right leg. Again, that 1 point of damage would go there, but it hit the level 1 hill instead. All right, now for bookkeeping. The catapult ran in the movement phase, so that generated 2 points of heat. Accordingly, I put a little 2 tick on its heat scale. The LRM-15 generates 5 points of heat. 5 plus 2 is 7, so put a little tick by the 7. Heat scales up to 7. Now, unlike lasers, long-range missiles require ammo. So I'm going to put a little tick by this ammo bin here, indicating that the catapult has fired off 1 round of long-range missiles and has 1 shot of missiles less than it did before. No pilot skill rolls were required this phase, but if a mech happens to take 20 points of damage or more, then that mech will have to take a pilot skill roll. That pilot skill roll comes at the end of the weapon attack phase, after everyone's done filling out their bubbles and stuff. And that's it.